The Brooks Catamount 4. Updated foam, added stack. Is this shoe all hype or your next shoe for your trail adventure? Let's find out in today's full review. Welcome back. I'm Cody with The Shoe with Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We're talking about the Brooks Catamount 4. I just got the shoe in, and honestly, I've been racking the miles in. I maybe had 33, 34 miles into this shoe. It's a shoe I keep reaching for. In this review, I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and the verdict. Should you buy this shoe? Is it worth the upgrade from the 3 to the 4? Now, before I dive into all this goodness, I do need to point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by Brooks. They have no idea what I'm saying in this review, and they'll have no input on anything I do on any of their content or any of their products. Now, I do have a favor to ask you all. Hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. Costs you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Brooks Catamount 4. Now, because I'm a positive guy, I'm going to start with the positives, and there's definitely a lot to like about this shoe, but the one that kind of stands out the most has to be this foam. The DNA Flash version 2, they upgraded the foam. It's fantastic. And now, again, this is like, it's comfortable, it's responsive, but on a trail shoe, I don't want too squishy. I don't want to roll my ankle, and this is definitely that perfect combination. It's responsive, it's comfortable, it's squishy enough where I feel responsive, but not so much where my ankle wants to go. So I really like this foam. I also love DNA. They added stack, 2 millimeters of stack, and I understand that some people are like, that's really not that much, Cody. But for us who've been wearing the Catamount, it's nice and it's definitely welcomed. I'm really enjoying it. This definitely allows me to take the shoe further distances. I've worn the other 1, 2, and 3 Catamounts, and I feel like now I can take this a little bit further. If I were running a 50K, this would be a perfect shoe for that. The other thing too is I do like the updated to the midsole. What you're gonna notice right here is this is open. It's no longer just one big piece. I feel like that allows me to have a little bit more flexibility, especially out on the trails. When I'm out on the trails, I want that type of flexibility because I am running on uneven surfaces. Having that flexibility is huge in my personal opinion. I also like the pattern that they're working. I've been using this on a ton of road trails, and it worked really nice on the roads because it's only about like a 3.5 millimeter lug depth, which isn't that bad. Worked really nice on the roads to the trails. I've been wearing this actually on a lot of muddy trails, working really nicely there, as well as snow. I was a little hesitant when I first took it out on my first snow run. The lugs aren't huge, but I found that they dig into the snow really nicely. I'm just gonna say it again. I really enjoy the pattern that Brooks picked for this one. Again, I felt very stable. I also think the platform is wide enough where when I am running, I feel supported. I'm hitting the ground. At no point did I feel like my ankle was going. Just a great lockdown. This upper, I'm a big fan of a more plush collar, especially on my trail shoes. I feel like I lock this in and I forget the shoe is on. I'm able to click the miles off and it just feels effortless in this shoe. That's the best thing I could say. I lock it in and I forget that it's on. The other thing is I really dig the looks of the shoe. I like what Brooks is doing with their trail shoes. Sometimes the road shoes, it's but the trail shoes, I'm digging this. I'm digging the colors. When I look down and I see this on the trails, it just pops and I'm really enjoying it. Again, I think with the updated foam, the updated stack, this definitely makes the Brooks Catamount 4 a more desirable shoe for a lot more runners. With the good, you do know there has to be some bad. And honestly, there's really one big one for me, and it's not a deal breaker, but I do think it could be a deal breaker for a lot of runners. It felt very narrow when I first got this on. I'm talking about my foot felt like it was almost like a Solomon shoe. I felt squished and I was like, eesh, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this in. Now the upper does break in. I do want to point that out. It broke in and it was not uncomfortable when I took this double digits. It broke in and it felt really nice. But I do want to point that out. If you have wide feet, I just don't know if the Catamount 4 could work for you. I think your feet would be too squished, to be quite frank. The other one is, again, it takes time to break in this upper. Foam, not so much. Upper, it took a couple runs to get this upper to fit my foot. Again, I think this is more dialed in for that race day kind of feel, dial it in, forget that the shoe's on. And if that's what you're looking for, this answers that. If you're looking for a shoe that's more accommodating for an upper, I don't think you're going to get it with this specific shoe, to be quite frank. The other thing is, at times, now, I think it might be a little unfair, but I do need to call it out. We've had single-digit days. I feel like the DNA Flash version 2 might be somewhat affected by the cold. Now, everybody's affected when it's in single digits, double digits, like into teens. I do want to point that out. When it's getting closer to the 30s, it's a delight, no issues at all. The colder temperatures seem to be affecting it a little bit. I'm curious if others are seeing that as well. And then my last one is it's $170. While I love this shoe and I think you're going to get a ton of miles in it, $170 is a lot. I wish it was closer to $140 because I think at $140, a ton of people would be snagging this shoe because I do think it works on a lot of different distances. But again, the big ones have to be the more narrow foot, the price tag, of course, and that's really it. You've heard the good, you've heard the bad. Now you want to hear my verdict. This is an absolute buy to me. I'm not even going to kind of beat around the bush. It's an absolute buy, mainly because I keep reaching for it. If I were running at 50K today, this would be my shoe. I'm signing up for trial races, so definitely stay tuned for all that one. But this would be the shoe I'm reaching for today because how fast I feel in it. I feel locked down. I feel secure. And the added stack, especially on the East Coast, feels wonderful because now when I'm hitting rocks and roots and everything, I don't feel the constant pounding on my toes where, maybe 50K, maybe it's just a little too far out of distance. That extra stack is a huge bonus to me. Plus the foam, the DNA Flash version 2 is just a huge upgrade to me overall. I'd also say, I've had this question, should I buy the 3 or the 4? I personally think this is a better version. Mainly because I don't feel it's as stiff as the version 3. I also think the updated to the stack and the foam is just a huge plus. So again, I will never fault somebody for buying the cheaper version. If you can buy the 3 at a heck of a steal, get it. But I do think that 4 is absolutely worth the upgrade because I just like the additions that they made for the show. You've heard the good, you've heard the bad, and you've heard my verdict. Now I want to hear yours. Drop a comment down below. Did you like this shoe? Did you hate the shoe? Did you love this shoe? Let me know. I definitely am curious how other folks, especially my trail runners, are enjoying this shoe. Again, I do appreciate you watching this review. All of my content. Again, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and until the next time, I'll see you all out on the run. Thanks for checking out this latest review. Don't forget, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and check out some of the other rad content that I've dropped out on the channel.